Welcome to Main Street Media TV, sponsored by the Garrett Chamber of Commerce. My name is Katie Farthing, and I'm proud to join Jeff Jacobs, Scott Boland, and Caleb Gresham with Main Street Media as we try to bring you more local community events that are happening. And today we're joining the Garrett Chamber here at their annual membership luncheon at the Hilt, which is a beautiful wedding and event venue right here in Garrett County on Ballard Road. Today's luncheon, we're going to have several speakers from our local and state representatives. We've got Dr. Donald Douglas, David Mead, Mark Metcalf, and a representative from Jonathan Schell's office, Warren Beeler. And we want to give a big thank you to the Garrett Chamber of Commerce for hosting and planning this event. It takes a lot of work, and Executive Diane Bisher and her chamber directors have worked really hard to make this a wonderful event. It is sponsored by the Chamber Platinum, Silver, and Gold members. And if you want more information on joining the Chamber, be sure to check them out at garrettchamber.org.
Bob Allen is Danville's Dealmaker. Save more on Bob Allen's winning selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Shop on lot or online at boballenmotormall.com. Bob Allen is a proud sponsor of Garrett County Athletics.
Here we believe in more than just banking, we believe in building legacies.
We're here to walk alongside you, on the fields, in the stands, and in life.
Supporting Garrett County Athletics means investing in our future leaders.
First Southern National Bank, financial wisdom, flourishing lives.
Allison is hiring. Big benefits, real growth, and a team that sees you in our future. Apply now. On Facebook, give us a call or just stop in. Allison Abrasives. Opportunity starts here.
The Garrett County Chamber of Commerce, where business meets community. Business and community members alike can get involved, stay informed, and take advantage of helpful insights. Supporting local means a healthier community. Sound good? Then the Garrett County Chamber of Commerce is for you.
At Danville Office Equipment, schools and businesses, large and small, count on us every day, and so can you.
We're proud to be your trusted partner, providing office solutions and supplies built on service, a smart approach, and great teamwork. Danville Office Equipment, Danville, Lebanon, and Somerset.
At Farmers National Bank, our roots run deep in this community, cultivating opportunities and personal and business growth with people you know and know what's important to you. Farmers National Bank, your lifetime bank.
Faces you know, a name you can trust. Weichert Realtors, Ford Brothers Auctioneers. From auctions to dream homes, farms to business properties, no one knows the area better. Weichert Realtors, Ford Brothers Auctioneers in Lancaster can help you.
Welcome to Katie Farthing State Farm,
where personal service is alive and well.
Not just a policy, help when it matters most.
So, what can we do for you? Your needs, your coverage, Katie Farthing State Farm.
Buy local, eat well at Marks Berry Farm.
We're growing and we need you.
Great people.
Great job.
Come be part of our exciting future.
Come taste for yourself or shop online. See our story at marksberryfarm.com.
At Central Kentucky Federal Savings Bank, we understand the meaning of commitment, hard work, and extra effort. Just like our Golden and Lady Lion teams, we're proud to be part of the tradition that makes our community special. Central Kentucky Federal Savings Bank, your hometown friends, your hometown bank.
Safe, secure, Docubit. Introducing DataBot, a precision digital destruction tool that protects your confidentiality and allows for sustainable device recycling. Secure document and digital destruction by the area's premier data protection service. Call Docubit.
Nothing beats the hometown taste of Lee's famous recipe in Lancaster. Go Lions!
Central Kentucky Ag Credit, your hometown team for farm, land, and operating loans. And yes, we're your home loan lender too. Buying or building your dream home in the country? We've got you covered. Find us online at agcreditonline.com.
Choosing the right realtor is like sinking the winning shot or scoring the game-winning run. If you're buying or selling real estate in Garrett or Central Kentucky, give me, Whitney Ellis, a call for the win. Good luck to the Golden Lions and Cougars this season.
Sutton Pharmacy.
Free delivery, easy in and out vaccinations, locally owned. Now that's what I call a hometown pharmacy.
Sutton Pharmacy. Friendly service from people you know.
founded by Kentuckians for Kentuckians. At Whitaker Bank, we believe strong communities start with people who care. Everyday banking to planning for your future. You can trust our team to reach your financial goals. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky. Member FDIC.
You're watching the Golden Lion Sports Network.
We are here again with Main Street Media TV, sponsored by the Garrett Chamber of Commerce, and I've got Executive Director Diane Bisher here. She works so hard for Garrett County, you all. I'm so excited to get a chance to talk to her a little bit. What can we expect here today, Diane?
So this is designed to be a time when our members can come and they can network together, they can have a wonderful lunch and spend time with each other. And then also we're going to hear today from David Mead. And David Mead, he's going to talk to us about some legislative updates. He's the Speaker Pro Tempore of the House. And so we have Senator Douglas. He's also going to talk about any legislative updates. We have Mark Metcalf, and he is our state treasurer, and he's going to be talking with us. And then we have a representative from Jonathan Shell's office that's going to be speaking with us from his office with agricultural developments as well.
We're so excited to hear from all of these local, but also, you know, Mark and Jonathan both are from here in Garrett County, so that's always exciting to have that in our state government. But Diane, what is anything you particularly are excited for Garrett County this year?
The momentum and the excitement that surrounds our county is just amazing. There have been so many new announcements. We've got new businesses coming to the square. We've got the hospital project. There's new restaurants. The distillery is going to be opening up. So much. People are wanting to come here. They love Garrett County, and we're just so excited about what's to come.
Looking forward to that as well, and we're ready to get started here, so keep tuning in.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started for one of the reasons that we are here. And, you know, there was a busy session, legislative session, and so we're going to hear about updates from that. And so we're so excited about that. We're going to start off from hearing from our David Mead, who is the Speaker Pro Tempore. I hope I said that correctly. And he is from Stanford. I've known David for many years, and he has proudly represented the 80th House District in the Kentucky House of Representatives since 2013. Now in his fourth term, he has a constitutionally established leadership role with the Speaker Pro Tempore within the Kentucky General Assembly. He brings seasoned experience and principled leadership in the legislative process. He previously served with distinction at the House Majority Caucus chair. Throughout his tenure, Mead has emerged as one of the Commonwealth's most passionate advocates for children and families. He has championed transformative legislation to strengthen Kentucky's foster care and adoption systems and expand critical services for families navigating crisis. His commitment to building stronger community extends to rural infrastructure, where he has played a pivotal role in securing significant investments, including $250 million for the state's Broadband Development Fund to bridge the digital divide and empower underserved regions. Representing the people of Lincoln and Garrett counties, along with part of Pulaski County, Mead continues to serve with integrity and purpose. He is also a member of the Legislative Research Commission, the administrative arm of the General Assembly, where he helps shape the strategic direction of Kentucky's legislative operations. Let's give him a big hand and welcome David Mead.
Well, thank you all. Thank you, Diane. That introduction's way too long, but I'm sitting here looking at Senator Douglas's, and his is much longer than mine is, so y'all get ready. Well, thank y'all for having me today. I'm very blessed to be here and to serve Garrett County. And I love Garrett County. I lived here for about 10 years before I moved back to Lincoln County, and now I live in Stanford. And I've always had a special place in my heart for Garrett County. And my kids have gone to school here their entire lives. My daughter's still in high school. My son graduated, has gone to college at EKU. but they have served their entire education here in Garrett County, and like I said, I just love this community. It has a very, very special place in my heart. But I want to talk to you just a little bit about some of the things we've done this session. But before I start, I have to say that, again, we're very blessed here in Garrett County, especially when it comes to state government. You look at what Garrett County has been able to accomplish, something I don't know that's ever been done in the history of this state, is 2 of our constitutional officers, at our state constitutional officers, are in office there. You have our state auditor who's here with us today, our treasurer who's here with us today, Mark Metcalf, and also our Ag Commissioner Jonathan Shell, one of my closest friends. We served together in the General Assembly, came in together, served in leadership together, and now still continue to be really, really close friends. You also have Don Douglas, who's a great partner of mine in the Senate. And then, of course, I have been blessed by my colleagues to be the number 2 guy in the House as a Speaker Pro Tem. And so Garrett County is very, very blessed in that aspect, because we're at the seat of the table every time that some major decision is made in this state right now. And so I hope that folks can understand how blessed that we actually are by these guys being there. One real quick other thing about me, I don't like to brag on myself at all, but I think it's important to know that Garrett County has another spot on the map, and that is that I was blessed again by some of my colleagues to be elected as the chairman of the Southern Legislative Conference, which encompasses 15 of the states in the southern U.S. region. It goes from Oklahoma all the way to Virginia and south, so I am the chairman of that this year. And wherever the chairman is from, that is where the conference goes to. So this year, Lexington will be hosting the Southern Legislative Conference, so there'll be representatives and senators from all those 15 states coming in this summer to see our great area. Now to talk a little bit about the session. There's a lot of things that we did, and if I don't do very well, you'll have to forgive me, because I got in last night the night before last about 2 a.m. I didn't get much sleep that night. I haven't got much sleep last night, so I'm still recovering. But the things that we did this session, just a few things that might hit home for some of our Chamber of Commerce, is this. First thing we did was House Bill 2, which is a measure by Representative Kim Fleming. It has to deal with our state's Medicaid program, actually our federal Medicaid program. And what it does is it aligns our state requirements with the federal requirements. We've always had, well, I say always, for the past 4 years, we've had work requirements here in our state, saying that if you are a completely able-bodied person and have no dependents at home, you should be working and not collecting Medicaid. So we had already done that. But we had to align that with federal requirements, because now the federal government has done that. So we brought those in line. There's also a lot of other fraud protections in there, continuous updates to check and make sure that you're eligible for these programs. And when you are not eligible for those programs, you will be removed from those programs. We did House Bill 5, which expand prison-based education and job training programs that are proven to reduce crime and recidivism for prisoners. That's going to actually happen over here in Danville at North Point. There's going to be a facility built there, which is going to have specialized training for those prisoners. So when they come out, they will be able to get back into society and into the workforce, and that typically has about a 93% success rate of keeping someone from going back to prison. So we're hoping that will be a successful thing down here in our area as well. House Bill 6 expanded affordable child care to working parents. We already had the child care assistance program here in the state of Kentucky. We expanded on that. We did a few other things that was going to make it easier for parents and for some of these child care centers, removing some of the requirements and the red tape that we have in our state. House Bill 500, this was our big one for the year. Of course, it's our budget. It is the one thing that we are constitutionally mandated to do this year, is to come in and pass the budget. So we did that. It was about a $32 billion budget that we passed that operates the entire government, from the legislature all the way through the executive branch and to the judicial system. It also includes the road plan and that, which I will be talking about in just a few minutes. And then the last thing for the U.S. businesses that we did, House Bill 518, which updates the statute in our state to require the departments to standardize electronic forms for net profits. I know that a lot of us, if we are in different areas, different cities, different counties, we're filing all these different net profit forms. So now you're going to be able to do that in one location. Housing was something that we were really trying to work on this year. We know we have a housing crisis in this state. We worked very, very hard on Senate Bill 9 at the end of session, and we just simply couldn't come to agreement in terms with the Senate on that. House and Senate had some different opinions. We just couldn't get it across the goal line, so we're going to continue to work on that, come back next year and pass a very, very robust package when it comes to housing. Income tax, the last few years, since 2018, when the Republicans came in majority, one of the things we wanted to do is start lowering the state income tax. So we started that year, and we lowered it from 6% to 5% right off the bat. Then we put in place a few years ago triggers that if we meet these triggers in the economy, which has to do with how much is in the Budget Reserve Trust Fund and how much revenue is coming into the state. If we meet those triggers, then we are able each year to lower the income tax 0.5%. We've been able to do that the past few years, so we've lowered it now from 6 to 3.5%. This year, we did not meet the triggers. We missed it by about $7 million, but we are on track to do that again this year, so we should be able to lower it next year to 3%, and our goal is to get us down there as close to zero, if not zero, as possible, so that we compete with states like Tennessee and Florida and Texas, those other states that are really being able to draw in folks. The thing that makes us special, though, is in our state, we have not had to raise any of our sales tax like Tennessee and Florida and Texas has. So I think 3% is that magic mark for us, but if we can get below that, we are even more competitive than those other states. Outside of that, we passed the road plan. I want to talk just a little bit about what's in it for Garrett County. As you know, for probably 40 years, we've been trying to do US 27 to 4-lane and expand that program, that road. It got into budget 2 budgets ago. They started the final design on it. They've got all that done. This year, they have the right-of-way money that is in there. They're ready to start right away. In fall of this year, they're telling me that they are going to start that process. And so you should start seeing the surveyors out, starting to talk to folks about purchasing property. And then construction right now in the plan is set for 2029. So as long as everything stays on track, the Transportation Department lets those contracts the way they are, we should see some of that starting to happen in 2029. Outside of that, we have some improvements that are going to happen on between Highway 27 and 34. You're going to see some improvements that are happening on 52. You saw it get repaved last year. They're also doing a study on it to see how they could possibly straighten it and make that road a little bit more accessible to Danville. And then we have also some county road money that comes each year, which used to be the governor's discretionary money, but we took it away from the governor because it just became too political. It didn't matter if it was a Republican or a Democrat, it was just too political. I mean, where they needed votes for their next election is where all the money went. So what we did is we developed a system that went by a rating of those roads. If you have a road that's rated 8, 9, or 10, which is the worst roads in the state, then you got money. The county here in Garrett County did not. Actually, we didn't have any roads that scored above a 6, which is pretty good. But in Lancaster, we did have a few that we did put some money towards: Crab Orchard Street, Arvin Drive, Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, Owsley Drive, and Highland Avenue. So those are some of the roads that will be done. Outside of that, there's a whole lot of other things I could talk about, but I'm going to try to wrap it up so we give you some time for questions here at the end. The one thing I do want to stress is that coming up in May, we will have a very important election for U.S. Senate and for this congressional district. Andy Barr, of course, is running for Senate, so he's vacated that seat, so we will have a new congressional member from our district. I can't stress how important it is to get out and vote for this, both of those elections, especially in that U.S. Senate race, as it's going to be a statewide race. Garrett County has a lot of votes that can go to help out in that race, and so we would just encourage everybody to get out and vote for that. Again, I want to say I'm extremely blessed to serve you all up there. My door is always open, my phone is always on, and I'm always glad to talk to you about anything that you may need. So thank you all again for allowing me to be here, and God bless each and every one of you.
So I have the pleasure of introducing our next speaker, Senator Donald Douglas. Dr. Donald Douglas serves as the medical director at Tony Delk IMC Regeneration Center of Lexington, where he specializes in orthopedics and interventional pain medicine. Dr. Douglas attended medical school at the University of Kentucky of Medicine in Lexington and completed residency at the University of Louisville. Dr. Donald Douglas was a medical director and lead physician at Tony Delk IMC Regeneration Center in Lexington. He has been in the healthcare industry for 40 years, beginning in orthopedics, but completed his training in anesthesia, pain management. He practiced non-narcotic pain management for more than 25 years. Don practices regenerative medicine to help repair and regrow worn-down body tissue. Don Douglas was born and raised in a log cabin outside of Owensboro in western Kentucky. He is the 14th of 16 children born to his parents. After leaving the cabin, his family worked as sharecroppers for several years, and Don learned the lesson only a farm can teach. Blessed with the persistence, discipline, and focus, Don worked hard to excel in school, with friends, and on the track. At Davies County High School, Don became a track and field All-American, as well as an academic All-American All-Star. Thanks to his hard work and trusting ways, Don's peers voted him class president from 7th through 12th grade. He has since been honored as Davie County's Public School Distinguished Alumni and inducted into the Davies County Hall of Fame. Dr. Don Douglas received multiple academic and athletic scholarship offers, but he chose to attend Western Kentucky University. This allowed him the opportunity to stay in Kentucky and earn his bachelor's degree in biology with a minor focus in chemistry. Don was captain of the track team for all 4 years of college and was eventually admitted into WKU's Athletic Track Hall of Fame and the WKU Hall of Fame. Don has qualified for the Olympic trials twice. In 1978, he was ranked 11th in the United States for the 400-meter hurdles. He was ranked 17th in the world. Surrounded by a care and support system of teachers, coaches, and his budding Christian faith, Dr. Don Douglas chose to continue his schooling in the field of medicine and never looked back. Don headed back to the classroom to earn his stripes at the University of Kentucky College of Medicine. He completed his residency at the University of Louisville Department of Anesthesia and was subsequently in pain management. He has been a successful practicing non-narcotic pain management for 25 years and is uniquely qualified to address opioid issues in our state. He also carries the unique distinction of being the first Black American president of a medical class at UK. And if Don's childhood taught him resiliency, his career in medicine has taught him to think under pressure. In Don's own words, medicine is a series of critical decisions. One has to learn to make those tough decisions without questioning yourself over and over again. Dr. Don Douglas has been privileged to serve his community through medicine. He is used to the busy, hectic nature of the work and is more than ready to hit the ground running, representing our local families in Frankfort. Don has residence in Jessamine County for the past 17 years and has been married for 43 years. Don spent many years working in anesthesiology in Louisville, during which time he commuted from Lexington to Louisville. Don and Carol raised their 3 children in our local educational system. Their children have all finished medical school and are training to further serve those around them. Wow. Don attends Centenary United Methodist Church and has volunteered through their Helping Through Him program for homeless at the Southland Christian Church. At Centenary, Don has also served as class president and taught Sunday school classes. Senator Douglas serves as co-chair of the Senate Budget Review Subcommittee on Transportation. He also serves as a member of the Senate Committee on Banking and Insurance, Health Services, Licenses, Occupations, and Administrative Regulations, and Transportation. Additionally, he co-chairs the Government Contract Review Committee. Let's give a warm welcome to Senator Don Douglas.
Hi guys, first of all, I got to apologize because I have no idea who he's talking about. I don't. It really is, I always start out by saying, it is an honor to serve you. And I know that word honor goes out a lot, right? But I really mean it. I really mean it. Some of my folks in the Senate said when I came to the Senate, I brought 2 things. They said I brought a sense of humor and I brought a backbone. And trust me, when you're the 14th of 16 kids, if you don't have a backbone, you get broken. So I appreciate the opportunity to be up here. We had, I think, a very, very successful session this year, and like Representative Meade, it was a long day. We had some long days this week, but that's okay because days in medicine are long, and I'm going to have to update all that stuff on there anyway. I'm actually vice chair of transportation in the Senate now, and I'm not going to go over much of the transportation and road stuff. I think David did a wonderful job, and I'm happy to sit down and talk with people about some of the wonderful things I think we've done, not just for Garrett County, but also across the Commonwealth. We have a sense of urgency, and that sense of urgency is giving our power back to those people who elect us. One of the things I told, and I'll tell these stories and I'll get into what I'm supposed to be saying, but my perspective was this. Recently at a dinner with the University of Kentucky President Capilouto, who I have a lot of respect for, and I think we all should have respect for him. He said, you know, we're getting to know each other well enough. Why don't you just call me Eli? And I actually shook his hand and said, well, sir, I really appreciate that, but you see, I'm employed by the people of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. That's who I serve. I think I'll just call you President Capilouto. And he looked at me and he said, you know, Senator, you're an interesting guy. And I said, that's what my mom always said, you know. But that is what your elected officials are here to do. Now that you guys have that in mind, you know, we touched a lot of places in the session this year. We looked at energy. We looked at Senate Bill 66, which encourages both UK and University of Louisville to explore working together to look at some of the federal rules in their nuclear energy programs. One of our biggest challenges in the future is going to be energy. It is energy, folks. And so we need to make sure that we're coordinating our Commonwealth with what's going on federally, because they're going to guide some of the things that we're going to be able to do or not do. And we want to make sure that we get a head start on that so that we can have really, really good communication. We asked in Senate Bill 77 the Public Service Commission to explore and study affordability of the utility services and how they set their rates or change their rates. I know a lot of you all hear a lot of things on the TV about what's going on in the world. My job is a state senator. It may change sometime in the future, but it is a state senator. And my job is to serve you. And one of the things I frequently tell people is a lot of the things that we see in our visual media and here in our auditory media are things that don't affect us every day. They affect us a little bit, but I have found that what most people are concerned about is feeding their families, making sure that they can drive on some good roads, making sure that when someone gets hurt, there's an ambulance service or some type of healthcare service that they have access to. And those are the kinds of things that I like to concentrate on because that's what I heard in medicine for about 46 years. Senate Bill 57 actually created what's called a nuclear site readiness pilot program, because I think one of the energies that are going to serve us in the future is going to be nuclear energy. Look, I still like coal, right? I don't mind wind, but it's not sustainable. Solar is wonderful, and I'm not going to talk against solar. But we got to make sure that we have a really, really, really good mix of energy sources that are available for our people here in the Commonwealth. You know, we looked at some things about the homeowners. Again, we're trying to be closer to the people who elected us. And so Senate Bill 11, and some people may say, well, some of these things are really silly, because Senate Bill 11 actually is going to allow a $5,000 rebate for the FEMA/community storm shelters. And some of us have wonderful places that we can run to when these bad storms that have been going on lately have hit our areas, and some of us don't. And we need to make sure that we've got some places that people have access to get out of the way of some of these horrible weather changes that have been going on. That's what you guys elect us for. You don't elect us to run over to Iran. This is what you guys elect us for. Senate Bill 41, I know in Jessamine County, I heard a lot about this last year, about some of the local taxes and school taxes and how much they're raising and blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, when taxes exceed certain points, the public should have an opportunity to have a voice. And one of the issues that we found was they didn't have enough time to get the petitions ready to be able to recall or have a conversation about those increased taxes. And I know those of us in government, especially in local government, say, well, we need this and we need this and we need this. But the bottom line is we serve the public, regardless of what we think we need. Ultimately, we serve the public. And so the public does have a say. We want to modernize the Public Service Commission, and Senate Bill 8 has a piece in there for that. We wanted people to be able to transfer some of their homes and vehicles directly to family members without all the taxing. It's yours. Why should you have to pay for it 2 and 3 and 4 times? It makes no sense, folks. Basically, the General Assembly is taking a stance of, hey, let's take a step back and take a deep breath, and let's bring common sense. Let's bring some common sense back to the General Assembly. In the education space, you know, I'm the guy who walks in the room and I say all the time, I talk about the elephants in the room. And I encourage my people, you all, certainly Jessamine County, certainly Lexington, but I encourage people across the Commonwealth, look at or watch our committee meetings. You'll learn a lot. Those committee meetings are really, really, really good. But even in the committee meetings, I'm the guy who talks about the elephant in the room. Our schools, we addressed some things in our schools that some people will agree with. We understand that. Some people will not agree with, and we understand that. But one of the things I often ask, as I did my patients, I would always ask, let's have some idea of the amount of information that we all have. Sometimes we in the General Assembly are blessed with a larger amount of information. And I always tell people it's my job to come back to the people who've elected me and explain why I voted the way I voted. And I don't mind doing that at all. And when there are differences, I try to say, well, you tell me what information you have, and I'll tell you what information I have, so that you understand why we reached the decision, or I voted one way or the other. Because one of the things I found when I got to the General Assembly was that most of the arguments that were being had were over miscommunication. And they were being had because people had different definitions of the words. And so, yeah, I'm that guy that sits there and says, tell me what that word means to you. Right? I ask that. And I think in the General Assembly overall, because this does affect us. You know, often we come in and we say, well, you're going to get 20 million here and 20 million there. Look, I got them on the paper. I've even got them marked. But I think it's important for you all to also know the philosophy that this General Assembly has. And I frequently use the term, I frequently tell people, this is not your grandfather's General Assembly. And sometimes having a few more people angry at you means you're moving in the right direction and you're doing the right thing. So we've made some changes in responsibility in terms of who has responsibility in certain areas of the schools. Some people are going to agree, some people won't. They may say it makes it worse, but I'm telling you, as parents, the question I would ask, are you happy? Are you happy now? If you're not happy now, let's not keep doing the same thing over and over. Let's at least take some small steps and see if these changes. I know they'll be uncomfortable, but we still need to do them. We made some changes in proportionally when there are raises in the school, who gets the raises and who doesn't, right? I love my teachers. I took care of a lot of teachers in my medical career, and I always told my teachers, I love my teachers. They work their butt off. The problem I have with some of the education stuff right now is our teachers are being asked to do so much outside of their job description, it isn't even funny. And so, yeah, I'm the guy who walks in the room and says, yeah, you don't get paid enough for what you do, but what you're doing is way outside of your job description. And part of my job as a legislator is to make sure that we treat you fairly and to make sure that we're not asking you to do things that you're not getting paid to do. We've got other groups who do that, and it's my job to communicate which groups are supposed to do that. We made some really good changes in the business area. And for those of you all, I mean, I could come in here and spell it out for you, but what I do with my constituents is I encourage you all to read the bills that you might be interested in and give me a call. I'm happy to talk to you on the phone. I'm happy to answer your specific question, not what your neighbor told you, not what somebody, 2 states over told you. I am more than happy to have those conversations to clear things up. But what I really wanted to talk about was I am on the Medicaid Oversight and Review Board, and Speaker Pro Tem talked about it a little bit earlier, and we really are looking for more accountability in the Medicaid space. One of the things I tell people all the time is money is pretty much colorblind, but for those people who are out there working and paying taxes, they want to make sure they're getting a good return on their investment. And with that Medicaid Oversight and Review Board, we are taking a look at all aspects of waivers in the Medicaid system, who qualifies for the Medicaid system, even outside of the waivers, and whether the system is working well. I know what it's like to not have money, folks, but I also know what it's like to work your butt off, and you all have children, and you want to do things with your kids, and you can't do things with your kids because you're paying so many taxes, and other people are getting the benefit that you suffer, right? We in the General Assembly, and I think I can speak, I know I can speak for the Senate, and I hope I can speak also for the House. We want to make sure that we are fair, and we want to make sure that when you go that extra mile, you get paid for it, and you get to enjoy some of the benefits of having done that. And that includes, when I got to General Assembly, it was kind of funny because I started talking about businesses. I am business friendly because business people work their butt off. Just because they run a business doesn't mean we need to punish them. It never made sense. Never made sense to me. And I think we are working hard to change the narrative that we want to make sure that all of our bills are fair bills. They're not necessarily bills that people are going to like. If it benefits you, you like it, right? If it doesn't, you might not. But I would encourage, if there's a bill that's moving through the system and you don't like it, give us a call. Give us a call. But one of the things I'm gonna shut up because I can go on for a long time. Trust me, I can, and I don't need this thing to do it. But one of the things I did want to talk about is our substance use disorder area. I actively treat patients. I've been in the healthcare space, because you see my hair gone, for almost 46 years. And I've seen the people die. I've seen families ruined. I've seen relationships crash. And one of the bills that I was really happy that we were able to get through the Senate, and my wonderful colleagues in the House also moved, was Senate Bill 77. It had to do with a preparation called ibogaine, which is actually it's a crystalline alkaloid. It's something that is found in the root and the bark of a plant. Why is this important? It's important because this particular chemical almost eliminates the symptoms of withdrawal from opiates and from some of our anxiolytic agents, our anti-anxiety agents, and our antidepressants. And sometimes my colleagues look at me like, Don, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. I say, well, it's because I've been in the healthcare space and I know the things that people are addicted to. And everybody talks about opioids. There's a lot of other medications that they're... And what we found in some of the small studies, it also help in post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injuries, and a lot of other things. Even some of the data suggested that it might have some uses with Parkinson's in terms of decreasing the tremors from Parkinson's. And that excites us in the healthcare space. Well, again, in the Senate we passed it, and I had, with David's help over here, Representative Meade, with his help, we got it through the House. And when I first started on that bill, I was told to my face, this is impossible. Nobody's going to want you to do this because there's too much money involved. And then someone sent me an article yesterday from CBS News who had picked it up. And they're suggesting that for those states that might not want to invest at this particular time, President Trump is getting ready to sign an executive order to make some federal tax money available to study this drug because of the information that he's gotten through his people. Why is that important? Well, that's important because we need to improve the health of the people in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And I think there are a lot of places that you guys want us to work, but I also think you want us as business people to improve the health of the people of the Commonwealth of Kentucky because it's costing us way too much money. You also want to revitalize our workforce. You want people in the workforce who can come and do these jobs for you and then come back the next day and remember what they had done. We've got to increase our matriculation through our workforce, because right now our workforce non-participation rate it's kind of shrank down to 43%, which is horrible. It was 45 to 47, now it's about 43%, and that's all those folks between the age of 16 and 65 who can work but choose not to. I'm not making fun of anyone, I'm just telling you, we have that population. And you all need workers, and you need educated workers. And so that is one of the reasons. In fact, when I said something in the Senate, I said this may be one of the most consequential bills that we pass. And this is exactly what the chamber needs. We need workers. We need workers to be able to improve the funds that go through our communities and be able to build up our communities and stabilize our communities and stabilize our businesses. So there are a lot of different ways that we can help you in the General Assembly in terms of improving the road as to how you do business and as to how you all are successful in your businesses. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this possibility of getting people finally, instead of putting them on something that's just a different medication for which they got to take every day, give them something that's a one-time treatment. And in about 6% of the people, they'll take the treatment twice. Get them off the opiates and give them an opportunity to rejoin their families and rejoin their communities. So I'm going to shut up, just like Pro Tem Meade said, and we'll still have some time for conversation. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So this next guy, I've probably known him all my life. He was my neighbor for maybe a year or so while he was rebuilding his house. I think he's been a friend of my family long before I was even thought about. Him and my papaw and his dad, they went to like a one-room school together 100 years ago probably. But, and I think my mom went to school with him too. You know, she talks about him a lot, and even my son loves this guy. Like, we live beside each other. He gave Ashton like a knife and a backpack and stuff, and he still to this day, he's 17 years old, he's probably 4 or 5 then, and he still got this little knife that you know, we gave him. But Mark Metcalf, he serves as Kentucky's 42nd state treasurer. And if you haven't been on his website, he can get you free money. So you just search your name, you can probably get something free on there. He's been doing it for 4 decades and of legal experience locally. You know, I mean, I'm sure y'all have seen him. Maybe if you've been in trouble, you've probably seen him too. State and federal prosecutors and U.S. immigration judge. In 2013, he was named Kentucky's Outstanding County Attorney for his work as a special prosecutor and for securing one of the state's highest DUI conviction rates. Treasurer Metcalf was elected 6 times as Garrett County Attorney, a testament to his electoral success and deep commitment to public service, a recognized authority on immigration law. He has authored numerous publications, testified before Congress, and appeared as a national press club. After proudly serving 29 years in the Kentucky Army National Guard, he retired as a lieutenant colonel, having helped coordinate vital operations during the U.S. military withdrawal from Iraq. Treasurer Metcalf and his wife Julie reside in Lancaster, and they're just right down the street from the school. So, further ado, Mr. Metcalf.
It's an honor to be here today. I'm always scared of introductions that take longer than the speech that follows. So, I had that experience when I worked at the Justice Department. It was a place where people's titles were longer than their names, and that was a head scratcher right there. I want to say hello to a number of people that merit a hello. Ralph Alvarado, running for Congress. Doctor, thank you for being here. We really appreciate your time, and we know you've taken time away from the campaign trail to be here. Rob Gullett, hopefully your next district court judge. He is our deputy general counsel and also wears another hat. He's one of our division chiefs at Treasury. He and I practiced law together in the courts, and for the most part, we were always on the same side, which was good because he's a great litigator. And then Warren Beeler, who's going to be speaking next, but a great guy and taking care of Jonathan Schell every day when Jonathan can't be here himself. And we're lucky to have Warren here because he understands Kentucky agriculture better than anybody else in this state. Not better than Jonathan, but understands it very, very well. We're lucky to have these great people here today. I'm going to be very brief today. We've got another speaker. Warren's going to be visiting with us. First of all, it's an honor to be here. This is not just another speech. I find myself making a lot of speeches each week, and there's no two speeches are exactly alike. But when I come home to speak, I want to give it a little bit more because this county gave me a little bit more. So be assured that the values you raised me with are the values I've taken with me to Frankfurt, and I use them every single day. I was asked by Mario Anderson yesterday at Spectrum Television in Louisville. He said, how do you balance an office that, because you're elected on a partisan ballot, how do you manage the partisanship that is implied by your job? How do you work that out at the Treasury? And it was not a canned answer. I didn't know I was going to get the question, but I told him, Mario, good stewardship is not partisan. It's doing your job and living with the facts and making those decisions based solely upon the facts and the law. When I stood here last year, I talked about responsibility at the Treasury and that we continue to be today, as we were then, good stewards of your money. It's what belongs to you, and it belongs to the entire populace of our great state. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we've delivered and what's coming next. Let me start with the most direct way we serve the people of the Commonwealth, and that's putting money back in their wallets. It is our marquee program, our flagship program. It was before I became state treasurer, and it will be after I leave, and that's called the Unclaimed Property Trust Fund. We manage $1.1 billion in unclaimed property. Now, as I stand here today, we have returned to Kentuckians 99.9% $1.7 million. That's a state record, and we believe that next week we will have returned $100 million to Kentuckians. It's their money. That money is not taxable. It belongs to them. And let me put this in context. My very worthy predecessor, Allison Ball, returned $177 million to Kentuckians over a period of 8 years. We built upon a foundation she left, and after 27 months, the end of the month is just another week and a half away, we will have returned $100 million to Kentuckians after 27 months on the job. I hope that you will take that as a sign that we take our job very seriously. Not long ago, we were working with a small businessman who could not pay his bills. And it wasn't because his business wasn't good, it was the business cycle, of course. And we told him, we have money. You've looked on our website, you found that there's money coming to you. We delivered that money. And it made a dramatic difference in his business. It paid debts down. He was able to give his employees raises as a result. And this was not casual money. It was his. It had been his all along. He searched our website and found that money was coming to him. He notified us, and we got it to him immediately. Now, let me put this in another frame for you. I have ordered our Treasury staff to call the records of the Treasury and not to wait for an application to be made for money, but to look through our records, find the most recent records, and start returning money to people immediately. And that's why our ability to return $100 million in 27 months has been energized. I also want to point out to you that some people don't want their money. And how can that be? We have, I will not name the county, but there is a nice lady who we called and said, we found in our records that you have $5 million coming to you. And she said, I know. I'll get to it later. Now, we called her 3 times, and we actually asked a sheriff in her home county to go out and do a wellness check. And she met the sheriff at the door, and she said, did those guys from the Treasury ask you to come out and see me? And he said, ma'am, I don't know who it was, but my sheriff, my boss, told me to pay you a visit. We have instances like that, and it's worth a chuckle, but one day we are going to get that money back to her. And, you know, Clay, remind me that I need to be the guy that hands her the check, will you? A great guy, Clay Skaggs, who takes the best care of me ever was. Anyway, our job isn't finished until every last dollar is returned to Kentuckians. And that's what we're about in just one area. I also want to talk about the great job that our General Assembly is doing. In 2017, each Kentucky taxpayer owed the Treasury, owed the state $39,000 apiece. How can that be? Through mismanagement, through wrong decision making, through choosing the wrong paths for our state's policies. That's how that happened. And David Meade and his allies in the House and Senate decided we're going to do something about this. So, in 2025, the amount each taxpayer in Kentucky owes the state, in other words, owes against the state's debt burden, has been reduced 339% to $11,500. Now that I call progress, and I hope you will too. But we're not done. We are eliminating debt, and we follow these numbers and consult with members of the General Assembly, telling them what we're finding and how it's affecting taxpayers. And believe me, they're very connected. Sometimes they'll tell me, Mr. Treasurer, we already know about that. Thank you, but we know about that. I just don't want to leave it unspoken that the taxpayers of Kentucky, in many cases, are carrying another mortgage on their home. You know, you think of a mom and dad, $39,000 apiece, that's $78,000. That's another mortgage on your home. But what I believe we will be able to accomplish by July 1st of this year is that those debts will be reduced to less than $10,000 per taxpayer. That's great news. Thank you. Now, other good news. There is good news. Kentucky is on the right track. As I stand here today, Kentucky state government has nearly $4 billion in savings. Per person, that's the highest rate of savings of any state in the union. Now that's good news. And that means this, and I'm going to give you a practical application of that, of having that money in reserve. It's called the Budget Reserve Trust Fund, and it's there, as others have put it, for the rainy day. Well, that rainy day happened in 2022. High winds in Graves County knocked down the beautiful old courthouse there, a gorgeous Victorian structure, and it's gone. In Perry County, Hazard, 2022, high winds and floods washed away homes, businesses, churches, and schools, and roads. The Commonwealth came together very quickly, special session of the legislature, and what happened? $100 million to each of those affected areas, and we did not have to borrow a dime. It all came from the Budget Reserve Trust Fund. It was there for the reason we used it, and today, as I mentioned, we have the highest savings rate of any state in the union. Yeah, thank you. Now, the getting close to the end. I want this to be interesting, but I also wanted to be quick. We are continuing to grow the state's resources. The treasurer chairs the state's investments commission. Now, I don't pick out stocks or bonds for the state to invest in. We have professionals who meet with the commission on a quarterly basis. The other members of the commission, and there are 5 voting members, I am the chair. The governor has 2 appointees, and there are 2 people who are actually merit employees. But we have never disagreed on the investments that Kentucky should be placing its money against. And over the last, since I took office, and this, I want to give credit to them, not to me, but over the last, since 2024, when I took office, 2.5 years ago, we have made for the state $2.5 billion. Now, what do we do with that money? We pay down Kentucky's debts, but a specific debt, and that's our Medicaid bills at the University of Kentucky and at the University of Louisville. And every dollar that we earn from using the state's capital to make money is one less dollar we need from taxpayers. And believe me when I tell you, we watch this stuff very closely. And all of our records are open for inspection. Just dial up or tap in Kentucky State's Investments Commission, and you can find our reports. One last thing. You heard me talk about JP Chase, our state's depository bank. I met with their senior executives, with Rob sitting with me, our general counsel, and our chief of staff. And I told their leadership, and we were talking just like you and I are talking right now, in a civilized manner, an even tone. I said, look, the state's native industries are not being supported by your bank. Your leadership talks about coal, natural gas, and oil so that people no longer invest in them. You've got to stop this. And if you don't, when your contract comes up for renewal, I'm going to be recommending that JP Chase not be our state's depository. Their reaction to that was last fall. They have dropped their opposition, at least in Kentucky, to coal, natural gas, and petroleum. And by the way, so you know this, we have significant petroleum reserves in near western Kentucky. Meade County, Union County, there's a 5-county block in there. 4.6 billion barrels of oil locked up in tar sands. Almost all of our petroleum in Kentucky is found at about 1,300 feet on average. We have great natural resources. We've told them that our coal reserves are among the greatest, not only in the United States, but in the world. And we have significant natural gas reserves and natural gas storage. And if you want to boost Kentucky's government and its people, J.P. Morgan, stop opposing these things that keep heating bills, lighting bills, and the energy it takes to run home businesses, churches, and schools. Stop opposing that. So, we believe we will see a better product out of J.P. Morgan Chase. They asked to be removed from what we call the naughty list. In other words, we're not going to invest in them. We took them off the list this year. And I told the same executives, if you start opposing our native industries, we're going to stop investing with you at the earliest possible opportunity. One other thing, BlackRock came to us last summer and said, we want to be removed from the naughty list. I said, that's great. What are you going to do about your opposition to the same things, oil, natural gas, and coal? And they said, well, and I'm translating for you because it was, it was a mastery of double talk. Well, they said, we'd like to do it both ways. We'd like to be for these things in Kentucky and against them everywhere else. And I said, look, it doesn't work that way. If you want to come off our restricted list, which is what it's called, you've got to drop your opposition to our native industries. And to date, we have not removed them from the restricted list. And I predict we will not, because they don't want to change their investment philosophy. The name of their chairman is Larry Fink. He manages the largest investment fund in the world called BlackRock. J.P. Morgan Chase is the world's largest bank. I hope you will walk away today, I hope you'll walk away convinced that we're not going to leave Kentucky behind. We're going to stand up for Kentucky. Now, I really get mad at those guys. Excuse me. I'm proud of what we've accomplished. We will continue along the same path. But we cannot do so without your help. And what does that mean? It does not mean voting for us at election time. It means voting for us at election time if you think we've done a good job and if you think we should be returned to office. Believe me, one of the biggest surprises I had when I became treasurer is that these big corporations, let me just put it that way, sort of took for granted we would go along with whatever they wanted. And we said to them, over a series of about a half a dozen meetings, fellas, you haven't changed your position one bit, and we're not going to change ours. So, with that, I just want to, with that, I'm done, and I want to thank you all for giving me a listen today. There's no place I would rather have been today than right here with all of you. And I look forward, Diane, to coming back next year and hopefully with good news again for all of you. Thanks again.
We have one more speaker this evening, and he is from the Kentucky Department, representing the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, which is where one of my hearts is with farming. Warren Beeler is a lifelong advocate for agriculture, living and working on a 220-acre livestock farm in Caneyville, Kentucky. A 1997 graduate of Western Kentucky University, he holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Animal Science and has dedicated his career to advancing agriculture across the state of Kentucky and beyond. Warren Beeler currently serves as the Deputy Commissioner of Agriculture for the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, contributing over 16 years of dedicated service to this department. He is also an adjunct instructor at the Western Kentucky University, where he shares his expertise with the next generation of agriculture professionals. Previously, Warren held the role of Executive Director at the Governor's Office of Agricultural Policy, where he played a vital role in shaping agricultural policy for the state. Over the course of his career, Warren has received numerous accolades, including induction into the Kentucky Pork Producers Hall of Fame, the WKU Agriculture Alumnus of the Year Award, the UK Animal and Food Science Hall of Fame, and the Distinguished Rural Kentuckian Award. His experience spans nearly 5 decades, having judged livestock shows for 48 years in 43 states. Warren and his wife Dee Dee have been married for 42 years and are proud parents of 5 children and 2 granddaughters. His passion for agriculture and commitment to the farming community make him a distinguished leader and respected voice in Kentucky agriculture sector. Let's give a big warm welcome to Warren Beeler.
Thank you very much. Mark Metcalf, where'd he go? He runs off when I was fixing to tell him, I know an old boy from Caneyville, Kentucky will take that $5 million from that lady if she wants to pass through. That's what it comes down to. So impressed, really an interesting meeting. I think you guys should have got an earful of really what's happening there. You got 2 representatives here that have got some constitution to them there, and Dr. Alvarado what he's done over the years has been amazing. I am here because Jonathan Shell is doing a derby deal in Louisville, Kentucky. And I want to start by thanking you for sending Jonathan Shell to Frankfort with us. He is amazing. I feel I'm heartbroken for him and his family losing his dad. His dad was 13 days younger than me, and he's going through some hard times. And you please keep him in your prayers as we go. But what he's done at Department of Ag, I'm so proud of. He's taken 250 employees, most of them merit employees, and has motivated them rascals to get out and hustle and work, whether it be checking gas pumps or training pesticide people or scales at Walmart or market news at the stockyards, shows and fairs or whatever it is. I mean, he has been amazing. I told him, I said, when you get there, you got to win these people over. He went and sat in everybody's office. They'd never had that happen before. So I'm so proud of him, and feel like I'm kind of like his dad. I didn't plan to come back, but I'm really honored that I'm there, and I'm thankful that I'm there now in a situation we're going through with Jonathan. He has 3 primarily deals he works on. One is he's convinced that we have to make, for rural communities to be successful, we have to make agriculture in line with economic development. In other words, interesting, Iowa, state of Iowa, one of the biggest corn states out there, has to import corn because they use all theirs through livestock feed and through ethanol. So our situation is, how do we turn it over here? Just last week, I was recruiting a dairy from Colorado, 7,000 cow dairy. They want to buy 500 acres, then they need 7,000 acres on contract to feed those cows. It takes an acre to feed a dairy cow. Feed. And he said, what is interesting to me from a chamber standpoint is, he said, you know, 7,000 cows, what we generate for the community? $1 million a week. $1 million a week turning over. You don't think that wouldn't make Garrett County hum? Make every county hum. When it comes to that deal. It's interesting. Wish we could take the chicken from the Henderson chicken plant and with the flour from Seamer's Milling and bread it somewhere and keep these people at home. It's got to go somewhere and be breaded. If you eat a biscuit from McDonald's, it came from Seamer's Milling. Interesting. All the pork coming out of the plant at JBS, 10,500 hogs a day. It's got to go somewhere else and be processed and packaged. Why couldn't that be done in Garrett County? Agriculture is economic development. It is money turning over. And we're running hard to try to figure out how to make it happen. Second thing, food is medicine. It is so interesting. We work with the hospitals, and the hospital guy's gone now, but working with the hospitals and try to get food. During COVID, you know, when the shelves got empty, people got nervous, and where'd they go? They went to the farmer's market. And they figured out there's a difference between eating out of a can and eating out of the garden. And they liked it. Now what we see, we funded a green bean processing plant the other day. We see the tobacco people in western Kentucky converting to vegetables. We funded a watermelon washing facility in Simpson County the other day. What can we do in terms of making these dollars turn over in rural communities? We're so used to this habit of getting the end of the trailer gate as a farmer, and somebody else decides what it's worth. We get to this point where we put it right to their mouth. It's bound to improve profitability at farm level. It's so interesting what we see out here in terms of food as medicine and how things are changing so very fast. The third thing is basically, until COVID, you guys just walked up to the store and it's there. You don't think about it. It's just there. When the shelves got empty, people got nervous. And what we do, we just fill them back up. Come down to that. We have a terrible disconnect. And so what Jonathan's done is he's developed what we call All In for Ag Week in the fall and in the spring. We hired a rock star out of Seneca High School, the only ag program, FFA program in Jefferson County, Bethany Mattingly. She put together lesson plans for everything, every age group. So during that week, if you study science, it's through agriculture. If you do math, it's through agriculture. And guess what? We made learning fun because there's no connection. There's no connection. So we were so impressed with that it's going to happen. And guess what? We didn't realize it, but we're kind of teaching kids where their food comes from. And nobody knows that anymore. They think brown cows give chocolate milk. They think Kroger's got a deal out back of the deal. We do a great job of farming. We do a terrible job of telling people about it. So ag is economic development, food is medicine, and then All In for Ag Week. That's Jonathan's 3 biggies. Now, I will tell you this. All my years, almost 30 years now, David, I've been up there, Doc. The thing I've learned most is the most interesting thing about agriculture is what we don't know yet. What we don't know yet. A man walks in my office when I was at the governor's office, had a PhD from MIT, brilliant pharmaceutical guy. He had this product called Artemisia. And Artemisia is the only medication for malaria in the world. They were growing it in Vietnam, but it came to Kentucky because you grow it like tobacco. Medicine for malaria. I said, we don't have malaria. He said, it's not about malaria. He says, in other countries, we use Artemisia to treat cancer like you use chemo, except you don't lose your hair, you don't have all the side effects. It's amazing. The most interesting thing in this world about agriculture is what we don't have. There's a cure for cancer somewhere. God had to make a cure for cancer somewhere. Doc's comments was just off the charts for me. So, is it in a plant? Is it in an animal? Is it in us? We'll find it. It's what we don't know that makes it interesting. Dr. Bewley told me, we can pull a white blood cell out of a jug of milk and tell you what cow it came out of. My dad milked cows by hand. And before he passed away, I took him over to Cheney's there in Bowling Green and let him see cows being milked with a robot. I had to put his tongue back in his mouth. He just think, there's no way, he said, there's no way you can milk cows and not go to the barn. He followed a mule through a tobacco patch. And now we got tractors driving themselves. GPS auto steer. The last 50 years have been the most change in agriculture that in any time in history. All of history beyond that was no compare. In the next 50, we'll make that look like it's in slow motion. So the most big need for agriculture we have to do is find smart, brilliant people that can figure out what we don't know. So intriguing. My son Ben, I talk about him all the time. He got all his mother's genetics. He has a PhD in nuclear and radiological engineering from Georgia Tech. Smart, brilliant, I'm so proud of him. But I think, what a waste. Oh, I love him. But just think what that boy could have done for agriculture. You with me? And he'll tell you nuclear power is where we're headed. It's clean, it's deal, and don't have to take farmland with solar panels. We don't have to do lots of things. Those are the kind of kids we got to have. We got to have. I will tell you, and then I'll hush because I'm the only one who's going to say we're going to be short and be short. This is what it comes down to. We have never done agriculture as good as we're doing it today. And we learn something every single day. We get better and better and better and better. They're telling us that we're losing farmland at about $20 million or 20 million acres per census. In Kentucky, in the last census, we lost 540,000 acres. What will agriculture look like in 50 years? We're going vertical. We're going in town. We're going places that you never dreamed we could produce food. Has to. They're saying we got to produce 70% more if the population goes to 9 billion by 2050. So it's so intriguing. I wish you could go with me and get to see agriculture like I get to see it. And you would know we are the only essential industry, and we have to succeed for society to get it done. I'm so proud of Jonathan. I will tell you, as the old guy at the office, he is the most aggressive I've ever seen. You ain't going to outwork him, and you ain't going to be smarter than him. He remembers everybody. And so, thank you for Jonathan Shell. And one other thing, every time you pick up that fork, thank a farmer. Thank you for letting me come.
So these guys will be around if you want to talk to them for a few minutes. As we wrap up our luncheon, I want to sincerely thank each of you for being here and being a part of the Garrett County Chamber of Commerce. We appreciate them speaking today, and you spoke about going long. When you see someone with passion, it's hard to contain those words in just a few moments of time. But we do appreciate it. We do have some cupcakes left if you want to grab some for the road. We will be taking all of our extras to our homeless shelter in town, but you are welcome to grab a drink, and you're welcome to grab a cupcake on the way and stick around and visit. Now for the drawing for the sweatshirt, and I brought 3 different sizes so you can choose the size that works. That's going to go to Bob Bachman. Woo! All right, thank you. So again, we're proud of the momentum that's happening here in Garrett County. Can't you just feel it? You can look around, you can see it. We appreciate all of our new members. Our chamber is growing, and we just appreciate each other. And guys, I'm going to tell you, what other county can you go to and we have a few thousand of uninvited guests, and we all just act like it's no big deal, especially Doug Goins back there just hugging the post. You know, we appreciate that so much. So again, thank you. Let's grow Garrett together and have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for coming.
Bob Allen is Danville's Dealmaker. Save more on Bob Allen's winning selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Shop on lot or online at boballenmotormall.com. Bob Allen is a proud sponsor of Garrett County Athletics.
Here we believe in more than just banking, we believe in building legacies. We're here to walk alongside you, on the fields, in the stands, and in life.
Supporting Garrett County Athletics means investing in our future leaders.
First Southern National Bank, financial wisdom, flourishing lives.
Allison is hiring. Big benefits, real growth, and a team that sees you in our future. Apply now. On Facebook, give us a call or just stop in. Allison Abrasives. Opportunity starts here.
The Garrett County Chamber of Commerce, where business meets community. Business and community members alike can get involved, stay informed, and take advantage of helpful insights. Supporting local means a healthier community. Sound good? Then the Garrett County Chamber of Commerce is for you.
At Danville Office Equipment, schools and businesses, large and small, count on us every day, and so can you.
We're proud to be your trusted partner, providing office solutions and supplies built on service, a smart approach, and great teamwork. Danville Office Equipment, Danville, Lebanon, and Somerset.
At Farmers National Bank, our roots run deep in this community, cultivating opportunities and personal and business growth with people you know and know what's important to you. Farmers National Bank, your lifetime bank.
Faces you know, a name you can trust. Weichert Realtors, Ford Brothers Auctioneers. From auctions to dream homes, farms to business properties, no one knows the area better. Weichert Realtors, Ford Brothers Auctioneers in Lancaster can help you.
Welcome to Katie Farthing State Farm,
where personal service is alive and well.
Not just a policy, help when it matters most.
So, what can we do for you? Your needs, your coverage, Katie Farthing State Farm.
Buy local, eat well at Mark's Berry Farm.
We're growing and we need you. Great people.
Great job.
Come be part of our exciting future.
Come taste for yourself or shop online. See our story at marksberryfarm.com.
At Central Kentucky Federal Savings Bank, we understand the meaning of commitment, hard work, and extra effort. Just like our Golden and Lady Lion teams, we're proud to be part of the tradition that makes our community special. Central Kentucky Federal Savings Bank, your hometown friends, your hometown bank.
Safe, secure, Docubit. Introducing DataBot, a precision digital destruction tool that protects your confidentiality and allows for sustainable device recycling. Secure document and digital destruction by the area's premier data protection service. Call Docubit.
Nothing beats the hometown taste of Lee's famous recipe in Lancaster. Go Lions!
Central Kentucky Ag Credit, your hometown team for farm, land, and operating loans. And yes, we're your home loan lender too. Buying or building your dream home in the country? We've got you covered. Find us online at agcreditonline.com.
Choosing the right realtor is like sinking the winning shot or scoring the game-winning run. If you're buying or selling real estate in Garrett or Central Kentucky, give me, Whitney Ellis, a call for the win. Good luck to the Golden Lions and Cougars this season.
Sutton Pharmacy. Free delivery, easy in and out vaccinations, locally owned. Now that's what I call a hometown pharmacy.
Sutton Pharmacy. Friendly service from people you know.
Founded by Kentuckians for Kentuckians. At Whitaker Bank, we believe strong communities start with people who care. Everyday banking to planning for your future. You can trust our team to reach your financial goals. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky. Member FDIC.
You're watching the Golden Lion Sports Network.